certifying badasses one podcast at a time. Teaching you to love Monday. Check your baggage at licensed-to-be-badass.com and hop on the bus to Badassville. Turn up your energy with Mustang Monday. Here once again in the driver's seat is Kelly Orchard.
Good sound. All right, hey everybody, Kelly Orchard here with Mustang Monday. And in the car with me now to hop in the seat to give us a badass tip from the street is another one of my Rotary colleagues, Craig Carper. And you are a financial advisor?
I am.
What kind of finances do you advise?
Well, I'm a certified financial planner.
Okay.
So pretty much the whole gamut. If anything that has to do with money is usually something that I will chat with clients about.
All right.
I typically tell my clients that whatever financial they want to talk about, I'm there to see if I can offer them some help.
Okay. How long have you been doing this?
22 years.
Yeah?
It was July of, almost 22 years, July of 99.
Wow. All right.
When I began
this
professional journey, yes.
Yeah. What is your favorite part about it?
It's very basic and it's kind of cliche, but it's just helping people. It's something that, if you go to a doctor, well, they spend all their time doing that thing to help you with that need, or anybody who's a specialist.
Well, the same with me as becoming a licensed psychotherapist. I wanted to help people. Yeah. It
was something that I was interested in. My undergraduate degree is engineering, so it's very mathy, very sort of logic-y. And so it's something that I like that I know a lot of people don't like.
Yeah. So I love that you use the word mathy. And math is hard for people like me. Well, it is very mathy.
And yet it's important because everything we do in life
revolves around math.
Somewhat way or another revolves usually around money.
Yes. When I was just taking basic algebra, and I remember a friend turning to me and she said, "You'll understand algebra a whole lot more if you put dollar signs in front of everything." And sure enough, it was true, realizing that it's commissions, it's things like that. Yeah, once I realized that, But math, All right.
So I mean, that it's funny you mentioned algebra. Math is, because people taking algebra say, "Why am I ever going to need to know what A plus B is?" There's no A or B in life.
Yeah.
But it's just a problem-solving skill.
Exactly.
Problem-solving, as you know, and as everyone watching knows, is every single day in some form.
There's some sort of critical thinking, like it's like fractions or algebra. So when you do like measurements or you're baking or something, so you're adding these fractions to get your proper measurements. And these are the things that I had to be taught later on in life. It's like, you use algebra every day.
Yes, in some form or fashion. Yes.
Yeah. But I'm sure that's not your tip that you wanted to talk about today was math.
No. There's not anything in particular. The main thing that when I end up speaking to people is I always wish that I could get them earlier.
Yeah.
People especially in our community here, being a little higher expense place to live.
Right.
Quite often get to their retirement planning stage a little later in life. Their house costs a little more, or their rent costs a little more. And so my major tip that I try to get across to everyone, especially those maybe high school age or just beginning college, is so important to start
somewhere
early.
Yeah.
As early as you can. My two daughters have recently become tax-paying citizens. So they finished their education and they've started their jobs. And I've told them, hey, you're going to start doing this Roth IRA and you're going to do it on a weekly basis, this dollar amount. And I've told them, we'll see if they listen, that they can never stop. That if things get tighter later, if they're going to buy a house or kids come into the picture or whatever and they need to reduce it, they can reduce it, but you can never stop. Because if everyone just did that as soon as they could and started putting $25 a month, preferably $25 a week, but if you could get that and you just don't quit, you'll find when you get to retirement, you're in a whole lot better place.
Yes.
For our generation and younger, pensions don't really exist unless you're a teacher or a public employee, whereas generations before us, pension
that's what
was
they counted
there.
on.
Right. Pension. So That's really the major tip, and that's not earth-shattering. Your audience has heard that before.
Well, the thing is that what I find is that a lot of the times that somebody will get in the car and they'll give a badass tip, but that's just it. It's all part of the process. There really is nothing brand spanking new. It's just common sense a lot of times, and what you're talking about is really common sense. Plan for your future, and the sooner you start, the better. Because one of the things that occurred with me is you never know what kind of life derailing event is going to occur. You just don't know. You can't plan for that.
That's why
So if you have a bit of a nest egg or a little bit of a cushion,
something to fall back to.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And too often people in their planning think that retirement's later, I'll deal with it later. And then it's very, very hard.
Yeah.
So plan that early. I always tell people, when you build your budget, and most people have heard the phrase pay yourself first. When you're building your budget as a young person, put retirement first, because it's much easier to forego something when you're young than live out of your car when you're 65.
Yeah.
When you now stop working and you didn't plan. Mm-hmm. So sacrifice a little early.
So what are some of the go-to checklists? Do you have a certain age group that you give them advice to go this way or this age group, or do you have a checklist?
Well, no, because everybody is different. I mean, the simple checklists in finances are: build yourself a little emergency fund, like we talked about.
Right.
If you've got children, make sure you've got some life insurance in case a bad event happens, so that take care of them if your income goes away. And then just start saving for retirement. Mm-hmm. As much as you can, but just start early. It's much more important to start early than to save a lot. Mm-hmm. But there's no set checklist other than those common sense things.
Yes, common sense.
Common sense guides a lot. But it really is. If you start early, you'll just be so happy with if you give up Starbucks twice a week early.
Yeah, those are kind of the easy ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
When I'm working with clients, I know I do something completely different than you. We're not doing financial planning, but it's even just your mental health. And if you just start out with one little positive habit, that will improve. And so, even with your mental health, if you're worried about your money, like Craig says, put a little bit away. If you have a little bit away, you'll never be worried about not having money anymore, because you've got some, and there's a little incremental steps. Simple steps. Things that you could start to do. Yeah. I had a friend that over COVID encouraged me to put some money in the stock market. I don't know anything about it. I'm not trying to be a trader, and I didn't really have much to play with, but he told me a couple stocks to buy. So I did, but his advice was only do what you don't need to pull out. Money that you can, he goes, I know it sounds really weird, but money you don't really need right now. So I just put a couple $100s in, and it feels kind of good to watch it grow a little bit here and there. No big deal, but it's a little,
Yeah. And it's, and there's, the news is covering a lot of these stocks that people are just, doing some crazy stuff with. And as long as that's money that if it disappears, it's not going to affect your life.
It's not going to kill you, yeah, exactly.
Go ahead. It's more, that's not investing.
Right, I'm not looking at it in investing at all.
It's more of a speculative. It's a little bit of Vegas there, and it's fun to win if you go to Vegas. It's fun.
Yeah.
But be prepared in case that doesn't go your way.
Be prepared to walk away without your rent payment.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, hopefully not that.
Yes. But, well, thank you very much for joining me in the car.
You're welcome. And it's fun. I appreciate it. And
well, it's like I always say that my Rotary colleagues are like shooting fish in a barrel, because we meet on Mondays, and I bring the Mustang. In fact, it was inspired by Rotary, Mustang Monday.
Right.
So I like to give an opportunity for all of you guys to get in the car and give us some stuff.
Thank you for the invitation.
You're welcome.
It's been my pleasure to be here.
So what is the name of do you have a business name, or is it?
I do. I work at a firm in the south part of Temecula by the hospital called LaPointe Wealth Advisors.
Okay.
It's myself and David LaPointe, whose name's on the door. So
all right.
That's where you can find me.
All right, so this is Craig Carper. I'm Kelly Orchard, the Badass Certifier. Now repeat with me. And reminding you to be bold.
Be bold.
Be brave. Be confident.
Oh, there's one.
And
then badass.
Be badass.
If you enjoy these interviews, you can watch videos of Mustang Monday on Kelly's YouTube channel, too. Grab your Badass Habits ebook. Get started on your badass journey. Go to licensedtobebadass.com.